Hey, you're watching Chats with China. Today we have Carmen Wong Oric. She is a personal finance expert. You can catch her on the Today Show, CNN, iVillage, MSNBC, CNBC, all of that. She even writes for Essence. Listen, she is going to give you the financial advice you need to build your wealth, stop being broke, and start being financially responsible. So Carmen, if you're ready, let's chat. Carmen, how are
Hello,
you?
my dear China.
You're my favorite person ever. Please, everybody, note this beautiful face.
Yikes.
So, can you tell us where we can find you on TV, media,
Lots
whatever?
of places. Yep. On television, you can find me on the Today Show in the mornings. Also, Dr. Oz. I'm a trader with Dr. Oz. I do The View once in a while. But on the regular, really, it's CNN, MSNBC, a lot of the news channels. And I really, really still love doing TV. But, I have a new book coming out in December, The Real Cost of Living. Cannot wait, from Penguin. So I'm really excited about pushing that book. And you will not be able to escape me once that happens. And online, too, I'm a contributor to iVillage. I'm also the financial columnist for Glamour Magazine. So I keep myself very busy.
Wink, wink. Very busy. Carmen, I read this article that told me that Black women have a median wealth of $5. $5. So that article made me really, really upset. And I want you to tell us, what we can do to come out of that and not be broke anymore.
Well, here's the thing. I do quite a few talks with women of color because, in particular, I feel like we have not been handed down the ideas and the values behind wealth. So we're not necessarily exposed to that in our culture. I know that I was exposed to it because my mother remarried an Anglo gentleman who basically exposed me to it, but my cousins didn't have that. And you can see how different you lead your life if you know how to manage your money and what's really should be important versus if you don't. So I think that since you get a lot of financial information from your parents, if you haven't been handed down this, and fewer of us have, and compared to the rest of American culture, it's really such an advantage. And I'm very, very passionate about it. And that's part of the big reason why I went into personal finance too and love it so much, is because I think that this is a very powerful thing in your life.
So what happens if you have a boo? You have a little boo at home, and let's say you make more than he does. How do you reconcile that? How do you deal in a situation where two people are involved?
I feel like this is very, very important, especially if you're married and you have children. You do have to at least have one pool of resources of money that goes together to take care of the household and towards goals that you have together, whether it's for your child's education or because you want to buy a vacation, whatever it is, to really work together financially. And if you're great with money and you take care of all the bills, which I'm sure you are, and you've got a man who maybe not so good, just make sure that you sit down and you talk about it at least once a month at minimum. And in a non-threatening way. Not like, I just saw this I just got a hold of your credit card statement.
This?
What is this?
What is this?
Not that. It's got to be about, okay, if we spend, let's say you or I spend over $100 or $200 or $300, whatever your limits are, create a limit that you'll say, I will talk to you if you have goals that you want to have together. But you should have your own little pool of money too.
What would you say to people right now who are sitting at home, they don't have a job, or maybe they do have a job and it doesn't pay that well? What would you say to people about how to find a job in this really difficult economy?
The aggressive way to be is actually not to kind of throw your resume out on job sites. That is actually the least effective way to be. The most effective thing to do is to network like crazy. It's all about who you know, getting the word out, and also being the best you can be at all times. At all times. You never know who's going to hire. You never know who has a cousin who's looking to hire. So get the word on who you are, what you can do, what you're looking for, and make sure that you go to events and you go to parties and you talk to people and don't be shy about it. This is how the majority of Americans get jobs.
What would you say is manageable number of kids to have? I mean, no offense to people who have like 4 and 5. My mom has 5, but I'm just saying, is it something that's expensive? How would we manage having 5 kids in this day and age?
Little things like when we go to the store, I say, okay, I can only afford, one thing. So you're going to have to choose whether we go to a toy store, whatever it is, it's one thing and it can't be over this amount. And I'll tell her numbers. Look for 20 or look for this, that. And she's also very smart. Actually, naturally, she kind of just wants one thing, thank goodness. But it's really about setting limits early, letting them know that there's a limit. When they're watching TV and there's all those cartoons and she says to me, Mommy, I want that. Mommy, I like that. Mommy, I want that one. I said, no, you can't have all those things. They're there to make you feel like you want them, but you can't.
Can African American people, Latino people, people of color leave a legacy?
I think that's what's part of why I do what I do. I want African American and Latinos to build a legacy, because that's not something that was handed down in my family. It's not something handed down in my extended family. It's just not necessarily part of our tradition for the majority of us. You absolutely can do that. And like I said, it's part of it is planning right, getting that education, working hard, building a business or, building a career, and just being in control of your money so that you can leave something to the next generation.
I know you're a woman of many thoughts. If you could leave our viewers with just one powerful line about money and about finance, what would that be?
Take control of your money and you take control of your life.